Hi, this is Janie. I'm going to be talking to her today and just asking her a few questions and getting to know about her background with dyslexia and seeing how everything was for school and what her life is like now. Can you explain to me what dyslexia is?
Yes, so basically my brain reads things faster than my eyes. So, for example, I'll get like my B's and my D's mixed up, my sixes and my nines, sometimes they'll be flipped. A lot of times when I'm reading, like especially for school and books and stuff, I'll read the third line first instead of the first line first, and that gets me all confused. And it's not really something I can control, my brain just does it, so.
Yeah. Has there been times where you felt left out or lost due to your disability?
Yeah, I had to, when I took my tests and stuff, I would be taken out of the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like really far behind from all my friends because while they were all in the classroom, I was kind of by myself. And a lot of times I would have to have extra help. And I noticed that a lot of kids didn't have to have that extra help. So I felt like I had to work 10 times harder than another kid.
Okay. And how long have you been dealing with this disability?
My mom noticed that I was struggling a little bit with school. I guess it was probably third grade. I was probably 9. And she was a teacher, so she could recognize the signs, really. And she researched it and talked to me about it, talked to my teachers, and then she decided to take me to a doctor, and that's where they diagnosed me with it.
Okay. And what's the difference with how you dealt with it then to how you deal with it now?
Well, back then I was still like, everybody kind of struggles in elementary school because you're learning and everybody's kind of at that level where you're, kind of behind. And then middle school and high school, everybody else was advancing and I still needed all that help.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just got harder for me.
Okay. And what about like standardized testing? How was that?
Standardized testing is really hard because that's just A, B, C, D the whole time. And so that got really confusing, and I had to have it read to me.
Yeah, because you would have your B's and D's
Mm-hmm.
mixed up, which answer you picked. And how did you like having the co-taught classes that were like advised by your EIP?
Mm-hmm. Those, they were really helpful for me. Like I felt like without them I probably wouldn't have done as well in school. But they made me feel really different from all the other kids because while they're all in the classroom, I'm, taking 2 hours longer on a test than
And
they are.
having to get pulled
Yeah.
out from them. What makes you nervous about becoming a college student?
Well, for like 19 years, I've been living with my parents. So I've had that support. And when I was in high school and middle school, like all my teachers were on my side, like advocating for me. So I had them helping me, and I'm scared that maybe I won't have that same support system in college. And especially living away from my parents, I won't have them there.
Do you know anybody at the school that you want to transfer to?
Mm-mm.
Don't know anybody?
No.
And what were some of the accommodations that you talk about for your classroom?
Well, I had the co-taught classes, so I would have a teacher and then like kind of a helper teacher that would help me outside of the classroom also and do my tests with me. I also had my mom, who's a teacher, so she would help me out a lot at home, helping me with my homework and, reading and everything, helping me stay caught up.
What would you like to see in college?
In college, I'd like to see kind of the same accommodations. I know that, it's a much bigger school and they can't do everything for me, but just to stay kind of at least on the same level as the other kids.
Was there anything that they did specifically for like standardized testing for you?
Mm-hmm. They would print out, like anything on the computer, they'd print out for me because I have a hard time reading things on the computer. Mm-hmm. And for standardized testing, I'd have to have the questions read to me.
Okay. And then how do you cope with your disability outside of school?
In high school, I started running cross country. I started doing that my freshman year, and I realized that was like a really good way to cope and deal with the stress. And it also helped me feel like I wasn't so different from all the other kids. Like when I was running on a team, like I just felt like a normal high school student.
Yeah, you felt free
with all my
from
friends,
everything.
Yeah.
And then what are some of your future goals that you have for school?
I want to take at least 9 hours a semester, just so I can kind of stay on a set course, and then I want to graduate with a 3.0 at least. And if I have to add a semester or two so I can keep my grades up, then I'm okay with that. But
have you thought about doing summer classes also?
Yes, I want to try to do 9 hours even in the summer, just so I can kind of stay like at least with part of my class, so I can graduate with some of them.
Okay. And while in college, do you plan on having a job?
I tried to get a job when I was 16, my junior year, and my mom thought it was going to be too much stress because I was already falling so far behind. And so we kind of both decided that it wasn't such a good idea. I think that now that I'm older and I can cope with it a little bit better and I know how to deal with it, I'll probably get a job, but it will definitely be part-time, and I'll, if it gets too hard, school comes first.
Yeah. And then what challenges do you face outside of school?
Pretty much any kind of reading. A lot of times, like when I'm shopping, the numbers get mixed up. I have a hard time, even with like friendships, because a lot of people can't relate to it. Mm-hmm. So I can't bring it up. And just any kind of math, really. It just helps me. No, it doesn't help me. I feel set apart from everybody else.
Okay. And what advantages do you have because of your disability?
I can memorize things really, really well. So like a teacher would give us a pre-test a lot of times, and I'd be able to memorize the pre-test, like how the test was going to be set up, and that helped calm my nerves a lot with the test. And also, like, I play piano, so I can hear a song and then immediately just play it because I can recognize the rhythms and the patterns and chords and stuff.
Okay. Is there like a specific person or idol that you look up to as far as like celebrity wise?
Yeah, Keira Knightley, she was in all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. She had dyslexia, and she was actually at an advantage because when she was read the script, she could memorize it faster than everybody else. So I look up to her a lot because she is doing what she loves, and she's really good at it, and she's making money doing it. So. And
are your friends aware of your disability?
My closest friends are. I have 2 or 3 like best friends, and they know about it, and we can laugh about it and joke about it. But most of the people that I just don't hang out with on a daily basis, they don't know about it because it's not really it is a huge part of my life, but it's not something that I like to broadcast to everybody.
What are some of the jokes that you talk about? Like, what do you mean?
We can laugh about it. I've gotten to the point where I can laugh about it and I'm not so insecure about it. Yeah. Like, a lot of times my friend will text me or make a joke or something, and I won't be able to immediately understand it until it's explained to me. And then we can laugh about it because I'm like, I'm dumb. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, like I'm special. And then what do your parents and siblings contribute with you living with your disability?
Well, my mom being a teacher, she is really, really helpful because she knows what things like a normal student would struggle with, and then I probably struggle with that 10 times worse. And so she can help me a lot with that. She helps me with my homework. Like if I have to read something, she'll help me out with that. A lot of math she'll help me with when I'm trying to. I bought a car last year. When I was trying to buy a car, the math with that, she helped me a lot.
So, like, your mom helps you a lot. What about your dad? Like, what does he do?
My dad and my siblings are more of like a support system, like a dad on the sidelines of a football game, like more just cheering me on, making sure that I stay on track, doing the right thing.
And what do your siblings do for you?
They're pretty much the same thing as my dad. But the thing about my siblings is they really don't understand it because they're younger, and so it's nice to be able to talk to somebody who isn't judging me for it.
Okay. And is there a certain administrator or teacher that helped you or guided you through school?
Mm-hmm. My vice principal, actually, I met her my freshman year of school, and she was on my side for everything. If I was falling behind in school, she would call me, call my mom, get me in her office just to make sure that I was like getting back on the right track, and she was always advocating for me. Like if I failed a test or something and I felt like someone was mad at me, she would always be on my side.
So she was always like looking after your grades and communicating with your parents?
Yes.
Okay. And what was or is your favorite subject and why?
My favorite subject was definitely history in middle school and high school, because it's really just memorization. I find it very interesting, and memorization is what I'm good at. And so when I can just memorize facts, that is really helpful to me. And I also find it interesting. It makes me want to memorize them more. So I really excelled in that one.
Okay.